Hello everyone, and welcome to the Strongest Army Challenge. Welcome back to Strongest Army Challenge, episode number 2. This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, ZeroEmpires. Do you want to run Age of Empires 2 at 999 frames per second? Well, now you can. Get your chance to win a $2,000 gaming PC by clicking the link below the video. Returning once again after one victory already under his belt, it's Blight Oz with his 10 pikemen, 7 longswords, 10 camels, 16 Chukonu, 5 crossbows, 2 mangonels, and 1 scorpion in the red, versus a new opponent here, Sumot playing with the 2 battering rams, 17 samurai, 15 scorpions. Blight coming in strong once again, but those scorpions from the back doing a lot of damage to Blight's front line. That infantry there being pummeled by bolt after bolt after bolt of scorpion arrow fire. However, the front line from Sumot is now gone, and he's now got to contend with the 2 mangonels from Blight at the back, which are flattening those scorpions, not to mention, of course, those Chukonu, which are still going strong. It looks like a second victory for Blight here, as he will go up against his third opponent now, and that opponent will be Felix the Cat. Felix the Cat coming in with 19 longbows, 4 pikemen, 3 elite skirmishers, 2 war elephants, 2 scorpions, 2 camels, 1 mangonel, a gabeto, a karambit. He's also got fletching, bodkin arrow, and bracer. Going for those full upgrades to really buff up those 19 longbow, and of course those war elephants in the front acting as a little bit of a meat shield for Felix the Cat, but not for long. Blight taking the war elephants down quite quickly there due to his camels and his pikemen getting stuck right in. And now, of course, it will be those 2 mangonels once again for Blight, bringing up the rear for Felix the Cat. The mangonels really causing some troubles as his longbowmen are fighting time and time again versus the Chukonu here, and those mangonels are getting free shots off from the back. There are about 6 longbowmen remaining, but they are being slowly but surely taken care of, and I don't think that Felix the Cat will be able to clean this up anymore, not with the remaining units on the map from Blight outnumbering him and outgunning him. Blight going up now against Toon squad, perhaps the evolution of Felix into Sylvester. Perhaps Toon squad will have what it takes with his 45 karambit warriors, and oh my goodness, those mangonels for Blight putting in the work right here. The karambit warriors, notoriously crap, immediately going down as the rams on the left side for Toon squad trying to soak up some of that arrow fire are left alone and unprotected. The longbowmen at the back for Toon squad, a similar sort of thing to what Felix the Cat had going on just a moment ago, but he is even more outnumbered now, and those longbows do not have a bodkin arrow or bracer, so they're going to be hitting not quite as hard, they're not going to be hitting from quite as far away, and Blight will get himself 4 victories in a row here. He is one win away from getting himself into the Hall of Fame. He does need 1 more victory under his belt, and that victory may come here against Vandal 27, the Legend 27's brother, so I have been told, coming in with 15 long swordsmen, 15 eagle warriors, 2 scorpions, 7 elite skirmishers, 1 war wagon, and a 21 Chukonu, trying to do that whole Chukonu thing. The problem is for Vandal is that he doesn't have the mangonels, and I tell you what, those mangonels for Blight, not only are they going unchecked, but they are doing so much damage from the rear. This time though, Blight does seem to be a little bit short on numbers as the final stage of this fight starts kicking in. Both players' front lines have been taken down. It's just archers on archers now, but the 2 mangonels once again from Blight can just not be taken down. They will remain, and Vandal 27 well, he's out of here. Two skirmishers, 2 scorpions remaining. Finally getting taken out right now, as Blight will indeed enter the Hall of Fame, so congratulations to him, and we'll check in with him later on in this video. We will be seeing 2 new teams going at it now. Tanki versus Ramsay Bolton. Space Jam, Game of Thrones. This episode has it all as these teams now collide. Of course, we've got Ramsay Bolton coming in with the Pikes and the Jaguars, the Janissaries and the Plumes versus Tanki, who, believe it or not, is going for a very tanky lineup with those Rams, Teutonic Knights and War Wagons. The Teutonic Knights do clean up at Ramsay Bolton's front line, including Ramsay Bolton himself, apparently the Jaguar warrior in there, but those Teutonic Knights might be impervious to melee damage, but they are incredibly weak to mass arrow fire, and they're going to be taken out very quickly, leaving now the Plumed Archers and the Janissary versus 3, 2, 1 War Wagons and 4 Rams. There's a huge number of units left on the map for Ramsay Bolton. It looks like he will get the victory here, taking out these Rams, and some say they're still firing at those Rams to this day. Ramsay Bolton will take on his next opponent, the big, beefy Ballista boys. I like this a lot. It's like the Beastie Boys meets the Beach Boys. And that's a lot of ballistas right there. Elephants, War Wagons, Scorpions. And you'd think that Ramsay Bolton's front line is just going to disappear, and indeed it does. Now you see those pikemen, and now you don't. The beefy Ballista boys going to be taking on the quite beefy Plumed Archers. They do have a lot of pierce armor and a good amount of health, but nothing in comparison to the health on those Ballista Elephants. Nothing in comparison to the health on those War Wagons. Of course, I like the way that this forms up for Ramsay Bolton. The 2 lines, the Janissaries with the 8 range in the back, hitting from afar, while the Plumed Archers make a sort of concave in front. But the Plumed Archers are all down, and the big beefy Ballista boys have only 1 elephant remaining, but that doesn't matter. There's still plenty of War Wagons to follow up the rear, and those Janissaries will be going down for Ramsay Bolton. Unfortunately, Ramsay Bolton looks like he will die here. An expected end for a George R.R. Martin character. Big beefy Ballista boys will go on. He will go on versus Sill here with 14 Huskarls, 32 Chuko Nu, a Karambit warrior, but he's also got a lot of upgrades here as well. Bodkin Arrow Fletching, Scale Mail, and Chain Mail. So those Huskarls have a lot of pierce armor, exactly what he needs to break through and tank the big beefy Ballista boys' Ballista bolts. That's a bit of a mouthful, as we've got Sill coming in. The Huskarls doing quite well. They're still alive. Most of the elephants have gone down. They are the tankiest of the tanky units in this lineup from the beefy Ballista boys. And now, of course, the Chuko Nu, which, although they aren't looking too good, there's a good number of them, and it looks like he might just be able to take these War Wagons down in this extended fight. The War Wagons just aren't going to have what it takes. The number here of Chuko Nu able to put out a huge amount of damage, and we have 2, now 1 War Wagon remaining, and that will be going down to Sill, who will now be taking on high armor, 13 Teutonic Knights, 26 Rattan Archers with Fletching and Scale Mail. There is definitely a lot of armor in this one, and between tanky, big beefy Ballista boys and high armor, we seem to have a little bit of a theme in this episode, and that is the tankier units coming onto the field. Unfortunately, those tankier units don't seem to be able to have what it takes. Those Teutonic Knights being cut down by the mass Chuko Nu at the back, one of the best units to deal with that. And the Rattan Archers, although they'd be quite good in theory versus the Chuko Nu here, they have still got to deal with a large number of Huskarls chopping at them before they can even start shooting at the Chuko Nu in this case. And the high armor here for those Rattan Archers being countered by that really high armor from the Huskarls. The Huskar will go down, but there's just too many Chuko Nu left on the field. And I'm starting to notice a little bit of a pattern. These Chuko Nu incredibly strong in all these lineups, doing a really, really good job. We've now got Sill versus Say Goodbye, because we got Ramsay, 26 Ramsay, 12 light cavalry, with padded archer armor, scale barding armor, and chain barding armor in this one. This is going to be interesting. The light cavalry do go down very quickly, but those Ramsay hit very, very hard. Look how quickly the Huskar will fall. That pierce armor on the Huskar, the 8 pierce armor that they have, no match for the 18 damage of the Ramsay here. And now it is a question of who comes out on top. Is it the Ramsay? Is it the Chukonu? The Chukonu looked to have more numbers, but the Ramsay, remember, has more health and it does hit harder. But the Ramsay also misses more with only 20% accuracy. A lot of those darts that those Ramsay are throwing are not hitting the targets. However, they will start to come out on top as the momentum swings into Say Goodbye, because we got Ramsay's favor. And indeed, Sill will be saying goodbye as he is now knocked out, and the Ramsay get themselves a victory. We've now got a new contender for the throne, as we see Just Add Water coming into the picture here on the left in the blue. 4 skirmishers, 1 slinger, 1 battle elephant, 5 Huskar, 10 Mangonite, 10 Samurai, 2 Mangonels, and 5 Scorpions. He's got a lot of mixed units in here. It is a mixed bag from Just Add Water, the blue player. However, those Mangonite in the Castle Age are incredibly weak for what you get. The Ramsay is a much stronger unit, and right now, as the ranged units start going at it, those Ramsay are looking very healthy. There is still a Mangonel on the right side. In fact, there's 2 Mangonels there hiding behind the tree. Which, by the way, have you noticed the arena? It's a little bit snazzier now, as we've tried to spruce it up a little bit by request of you guys after the last episode. But the siege remaining for Just Add Water will go down, and those Ramsay are great all-round units. They hit very, very hard, and they're very solid at dealing with siege as well. Say Goodbye to Ramsay in red will once again face up against a new opponent. This time it's Forward University, coming in with Scale Mail Armor, Blast Furnace, 18 Mangonite, 13 Huskars, 10 Pikemen. Maybe the Pikemen can chew through the units of Say Goodbye, because we got Ramsay here. Of course, those Pikemen will be doing attack damage bonuses versus the Light Cavalry versus the Ramsay, and they will get a few shots in, but most of the Ramsay will survive as they back out of the way. And now we've got a Mangonite versus Ramsay fight, and of course we know that Ramsay will come out on top here. The Mangonite just doesn't have the firepower. It doesn't really have the attack speed at this stage of the game. The Mangonite is one of those units that's incredibly strong, but it does require a huge amount of upgrades to make it viable. Upgrades that Forward University just doesn't have here, ironically enough. Say Goodbye, because we got Ramsay. We'll now face up against Flipper with 15 Pikemen, a Camel, 4 Boyar, 7 Cataphract, 7 Mangonels, and Forging. And those Mangonels could be a real threat to Mr. Ramsay here. There are a lot of Mangonels threatening to do a lot of damage if they can get hits onto the back lines. Those Ramsay are starting to retreat backwards as they are broken. That front line of light cavalry going down straight away to the pikemen, of course, from Flipper here. And there is still a lot of Mangonels at the back flipping their rocks across the map here. The Ramsay taking some pretty heavy shots. Can these Mangonels do it? It's a really close one. Bear in mind, those Ramsay hit incredibly hard, and these Mangonels just aren't firing fast enough, and this is probably the closest that Say Goodbye, because we got Ramsay has come to a defeat here. But the Mangonels gonna go down in the end, and Say Goodbye, because we got Ramsay with 7 Ramsay remaining, as he will go up now against Prowl. He is 1 victory away from entering the Hall of Fame. Are we going to have a second Hall of Famer here? We will find out. Prowl coming in with 27 Chukonu and 9 Ballista Elephants, 6 Pikemen. And those Ballista Elephants, we've seen them already before from the big beefy Ballista boys. Are they going to be able to have what it takes here to take down Say Goodbye, because we got Ramsay? They are incredibly tanky, and tankiness is what you need against a lineup such as the Ramsay heavy lineups that we've seen in this tournament, I suppose you could say, so far. It's looking pretty good for Prowl right now. It's quite even, I would say, although it is hard to see just how many Chukonu Prowl has left. It looks like the momentum is starting to go his way. There are 6 Ballista Elephants left and only 5 Ramsay. That is surely going to go the way of Prowl, and indeed it will. say goodbye because we got Arambai falling down at the final hurdle there. Prowl will knock him off his throne, and we'll see Prowl in our next episode taking on his first opponent. But welcome to the Hall of Fame, Blight Oz. He will be joining the Wallaloian Warriors here on our Hall of Fame board. 2 Hall of Famers out of 5. Once we reach 5, of course, we will do the round robin to declare the overall winner. Congratulations to Blight once again, and we'll be seeing you next time for another episode of Strongest Army Challenge.